Jab got through there from Roda. He's probably landed more, I think, in this third round, actually. It's just a question of whether the judges are impressed by the work or whether they're favouring Tashkarakov again, because the Russian really is the man coming forward, making the fight. He does need to be a bit careful with that jab every now and again, Roda, because sometimes he throws it and brings it back only to kind of chest height. Just there, actually, good example. Throws it out and it comes back almost to his waist, which leaves him open to a right-hand counter. But Tashkarakov is, for the most part, fairly left-hand happy. Roda just turned his man on the ropes there. Nifty bit of work. He's just pursuing Tashkarakov towards the end of the round, clips him high on the head there with the right hand. Better round there for Christian Roda. It'll be interesting to see which way the judges go with that one. I'll be tempted to give that to the Argentina Condor. There's that nice short left hand. And the left hand applying there from Tashkarakov. It wasn't a round in which either fighter scored with too many clean shots, but well, they've all three of them again gone for Tashkarakov. It was a closer round, I felt, but all three judges have gone for the Russian, so almost an unassailable lead given the way the fight has gone. Perfectly possible to score 10-8 rounds, of course. Don't necessarily need the standing 8 count or a knockdown to do that either, but it's difficult to see how Roda's going to make that happen, to be perfectly honest. Again, looking for that left hook, Tashkarakov. That is his punch. That's the one he likes to throw more than anything else. He leads with it quite often too. Roda trying to spring onto the inside. Right hand from Tashkarakov. Taken mainly on the glove by Roda. Four groups of 4 in WSB this season, as opposed to 2 groups of 8 last season. Not as much boxing this time around. The top 2 in each group will go through to the quarterfinals. Very, very busy year. I mentioned those European qualifiers, the other continental qualifiers. There's the WSB APB qualifier as well in Bulgaria in May. Then the final chance to make it to Rio, that comes in June in Azerbaijan, the final AOB qualifier. There's the Women's World Championships in May as well. 60 fighters qualified in the men's ranks for Rio already. 190 places still available. All of them up for grabs in the women's 3 weight categories. Tashkarakov just waiting, trying to draw something from Roda. He's not been quite as busy in this 4th round as he had been in the previous 3. Smearing left hand there, though, from Tashkarakov, got through. And then the jab finds the forehead of Roda as well. And in many ways so far this has been the kind of bout that you often see in WSB. There's not that much between these two, but Tashkarakov is just slightly better in all departments. He may well go on and win this by 50 points to 45, but it wouldn't quite tell the story. Roda is certainly competitive in there, but maybe just lacks a little bit of power. Tashkarakov digging in a right to the body. There's not been too much body work from either of these two. Mostly they've been headhunting. Good jolting right hand there, though, from Roda. But again, Tashkarakov really just walks through it. He's a bit ungainly on the inside. That's a nice combination there from Roda. Got through with 3 or 4 punches, but all found the target. Good round, good finish to the round, certainly for Christian Roda. Nice timing. Tashkarakov was trying to get to work on the inside and he got caught. Slight bit of marking up on the left-hand side of the bridge of his nose there, as you can see. That's a nice in and out there from Roeder as well. He struggled slightly with distance in this fight, Roeder. Every now and again, his punches just haven't really reached. And Tashkarakov hasn't made him pay too much. This is a nice bit of infighting. A right uppercut followed by a left hand, and then a couple of short punches got through there as well. To see whether that impressed the judges.
Quinto round.
Well, according to the scorecard there, all three judges found in favour of Christian Roeder. Their scores showed 39 points to 35. It should have shown 39 points to 37. He certainly hasn't had 2 points deducted, so just a slight error there. But Tashkarakov with a handy lead going into the final round. Roeder's really going to have to find something special if he's going to level this up at least. He's 10-8s on all three judges' scorecards to tie it up. Those gloves are a lot higher now from Tashkarakov than they were at the start of the fight. I think he just used that first minute to have a really good look at Roeder, and of course you could see your opponent better if you don't have your gloves up in the way. It's a very obvious kind of thing to say, but it is one reason why some fighters hold those gloves low. They prefer to rely on their reflexes and get a better view of what's coming their way. Tight high guard obscures that view. But an easy one actually for the referee to take control of this fight, because it's been pretty clean. There's not been any real suggestion that the heads are going to come together. And when they have fought on the inside, he's let them get on with it, which is always good. Good jab there from Roeder. Left hand caught on the gloves there from Tashkarakov. Does stand a bit square every now and again, the Russian, which is something that Roeder has been looking to try and capitalise on. Still moving that upper body well. These two certainly in good shape. Nice left hand there, lead left hand almost from Roeder, got through. Not quite a jab. Well, the referee just warning Tashkarakov about making contact with the inside of the glove. You do have to score with the knuckle part of the glove. The knuckle part of the glove on the target area, the torso or the head. Good right hand there from Tashkarakov, just thrown out of that crouch, a kind of overhand right, almost a 45-degree angle on it. Just got through and checked the chin of Roeder. Past that particular test into the last 30 seconds. It's been a good entertaining bout, this. As I said, it's kind of indicative of what you see in WSB. Two skilled fighters. The right hand there has just knocked Roeder back. And the referee, I think, is going to rule that a slip. Just wipes off the gloves. Tashkarakov made to miss with that big overhand right, and Roeder just trying to counter with the left hand there, as Tashkarakov again just sent his right glove sailing past his chin and just couldn't quite make contact. So the bell goes at the end of the fifth and final round. Good contest between Christian Roeder of the Argentina Condors, who raises the glove. He won't get the decision. Vyacheslav Tashkarakov is going to get the win here, which on the night will put Russia 2 points up due to the walkover that has gone in their favour at super heavyweight. Tashkarakov, when he gets in close, did tend at times to smother his own work. He just got a little bit too close. Didn't really have room to let those punches go. That's an unorthodox shot he throws there, but it's a good one. He's well in punching range there, and throwing that right hand the way he does, he leaves himself pretty open actually, but he gambles on the fact that he's going to land it, and he did then. Well, the two fighters just been called to the centre of the ring.
Fallo de la pelea.
Let's get the decision.
La decisión ha sido unánime. Juez número 1, 49 a 46. Juez número 2, 49 a 46. Juez número 3, 48 a 47. Ganador por puntos del equipo ruso, Vyacheslav Tashkarakov.
So Tashkarakov gets it 49 points to 46 on 2 scorecards. So those two gave the final round to Tashkarakov, 48-47 on the other. So that particular judge giving the final 2 rounds to Christian Roda. He certainly won the 4th round, I felt. But 49-46 would have been the way that I would have gone with that one. So Russia with another point in the bag, so 2-0 up now. And the Argentina Condors from here really have got it all to do. One of those cards was announced as 48 points to 47. So 1-0, it says on the scorecard, but due to the fact that the super heavyweights, we were told before the start of the contest, are not going to fight, not competitively anyway. That bout out of the reckoning. The next one up will be at lightweight. Brian Nunez on screen up against Artur Sabankalov. Just a quick look back at that opening bout. Muscular fighter, Tashkarakov. Road looks promising. Found it difficult really to get at Tashkarakov. Well, here comes Sabankalov, the Russian national lightweight silver medalist. Last season, he lost by split decision to Lazaro Alvarez. It's not a bad effort to get a win on just one of the cards against Alvarez, one of the multi-talented Cubans who we will be seeing in Rio. Won a gold at the World Championships in Doha, beating Albert Selimov in the final. It was Gabor Mamedov who boxed for Russia at this weight in week 3. He lost to David Michaelis. Adlan Abdurashidov is going to the Olympics for Russia at lightweight. Brian Nunez had an interesting encounter in week 3 against Luis Cabrera of Venezuela. Lost by split decision. He was 2 points clear on 2 cards and level on the other after 2 rounds, but in the end lost due to points he had deducted. It was 47 apiece on 2 of the cards and 49-45 to Cabrera on the other. Cabrera, a fighter that Nunez lost to last season. He was 2-5 last season. But was in with a lot of good fighters. First boxed in WSB back in season 2.
World Series of Boxing, segundo combate de la noche, división 60 kilos. Se enfrentan en el rincón azul de los Russia Boxing Team, con un peso de 59 kilos, 500. 5, 9, 500. Artur Subcanculov. Y en el rincón rojo de los Cóndores de Argentina, con un peso de 59 kilos, 950 gramos. 5, 9, 950 gramos, Brian Núñez. El arbitraje de este combate corresponde a la señora Marcela de Souza, de Brasil. World Series of Boxing, cuarta fecha, Grupo C, combate a 5 rounds.
No holding, no low blow, okay? Touch. Okay.
Marcelo Souza of Brazil, our referee for this one. Subhankulov described as a switch hitter. You see a lot of that in World Series boxing. Right across Olympic-style boxing, in fact, Aiba boxing produces a lot of fighters just as comfortable in the southpaw stance as they are in the orthodox stance. And Subhankulov has started off as a southpaw here. Núñez orthodox. Núñez just reaching with that long right hand, then throws a left hand. Subhankulov just having a good look here, bouncing on the balls of his feet, not really committing in the early stages. Just holding out that lead right hand, that potential southpaw jab, more than anything else, just to try and gauge the distance at the moment. There's no other reason for it, just currently. Núñez trying to work off the jab. Subhankulov just jabs to the body. Are of these two too willing to commit at the moment? Stiffer looking jab there from Subhankulov. Right to the body there from Núñez, looks solid. Subhankulov was just moving onto it. Yet to switch to orthodox. Subhankulov has remained southpaw so far. It's making for a clash of styles, as it often does, of course. Again, solid looking right to the body there from Núñez. He's finding that shot fairly comfortably. That's a couple of times he's landed it now, as Subhankulov is just a little bit tentative as he moves forward at times. He's not really throwing his punches with any great conviction. Not much in this first round at the moment, but Núñez has been the one who's come forward. He's, as I say, landed those couple of body shots. There's not been much besides that. Subhankulov trying to just scythe down with that left hand. Núñez looking to let go with the right hand as Subhankulov moves away to his left. I think that's the trigger he's looking for here, really. Núñez falling short with those couple of punches. And Subhankulov gets through with a left to the body. Quite an untidy first round. It'll be interesting to see which way the judges go with this one. I'd shade it to Núñez myself. Subhankulov looking for a long left hand there, but he was out of range as the bell goes. Fairly low key in both of the corners, a little bit more animated in the Russian corner than in the Argentinian. Julio Garcia with some measured advice for Nunez. Just got caught slightly open there, Nunez, as he threw the left hand, came through with the right, and he was tagged by Sabankalov. One-two from Nunez, but again it fell short. Sabankalov is always just on the periphery of being in range and never quite where you think he is, and then came back with two good stiff shots there, a left hand followed by a right hand, both got through. Right to the body there from Nunez, just being warned about the heads coming together. I think Nunez originally thought that the referee might have adjudged that a low blow. It wasn't, it was pretty much straight on the belt line. Sabankalov with a left to the body. Sabankalov looking for the uppercut there, it didn't miss by much. Nunez a little bit off balance as he tried to get into slightly closer range. Sabankalov is an awkward customer. Good use of the feet there, just a couple of steps back and gets himself out of range. Nunez just walking forward quite square, trying to put some pressure on Sabankalov here. Sabankalov just pushes him off with the forearms. Well, he felt that he was forearmed there, Nunez, and the referee just talking to Sabankalov about it. Sabankalov held out the glove there to touch gloves, and Nunez wasn't having any of it. Dangerous thing for fighters to do that, because there's absolutely no obligation on the other's behalf to return the gesture. You've seen interesting scenarios like that emerge down the years. The most famous recent one being Floyd Mayweather's knockout of Victor Ortiz, after Ortiz went to touch gloves after he'd thrown a very obvious headbutt at Mayweather. Mayweather responded with a jab right hand, which took Ortiz out. So it's a risk, really, that you just don't need to take. Sabankalov looking a little bit ungainly as he tried to get onto the inside, then threw a short right hand, which did get through. And it's a bit messy, this, in the second round. Nunez feeling that he was punched around the back there, almost towards the kidney area, into the final 10 seconds. Difficult round to score, because not much has been landed. Sabankalov got that 1-2 through, and that could possibly be enough. Didn't see the scorecards at the end of the first round. Should do, hopefully, at the end of this second. We'll see which way the judges have lent over the course of the opening 6 minutes. Nunez is finding Sabankalov awkward, there's no doubt about that. He is awkward. But he can't allow himself to get frustrated in there. Well, he's taken the first 2 rounds on all 3 of the judges' scorecards there, Sabankalov. I'd have given him that second round. I made the first very tight. Just falling short with the right hand there, Nunez, then got clipped with the right hand. Sabankalov looking to come in with the left hand, and Nunez was celebrating the knockdown there, but it wasn't a knockdown. The feet got tangled up, and Sabankalov ended up taking a tumble. The referee immediately signalling that there was not going to be any kind of standing 8 count there. Just wiping the gloves off. Nunez trying to convince her otherwise. Again, just falling short with the jab there, Nunez. Sabankalov just ghosts in and out. Well, a point has been taken off Sabankalov there, which is interesting, for holding. So that could make a difference to the contest here. If Nunes goes on to win this round anyway, then it'll be a 10-8 round, and Sabankalov took it on the chin, so to speak. It was really the first time that kind of situation had occurred. The referee didn't get in and break, just let them get on with it, and then took the point for holding. I think it's slightly harsh, to be perfectly honest. Sabankalov looking for the left hand. Nunes trying to come forward. The head's not too far away from each other there. And Nunes will be encouraged by that, no doubt. Let's go with a bit of a wide, reckless right hand, and the heads have come together, and there is a cut. It's on the corner of the eye there. I didn't see for certain whether that was the result of a clash of heads, but I would suspect that it was. We haven't seen any kind of indication from the referee currently. It doesn't look to be in too bad a place there. The blood will run clear of the corner of the eye, so it won't really affect his vision. I'll get the doctor to have a look at it between rounds, I'd imagine, but it looks okay to me. Maybe it happened as Nunes came forward with that wide arcing punch. But the sight of blood always gives a fighter encouragement. There's no two ways about that, whether it's come as a result of a clash of heads or a legal blow. Good stiff left hand there from Nunes, and that was right on the cut as well. And there's some blood on the corner of Nunes' right eye. I don't know whether that's just been transferred from the wound of Sabankalov or whether he's got a slight nick in there himself, and Sabankalov again just barreled back onto the canvas. Again, no knockdown. The referee just having a word with Nunes about pushing. She was very quick to take the point from Sabankalov, but Nunes hasn't found himself on the receiving end of a warning yet himself. I think there is some damage to that eye there of Nunes, and it seems to be on the inside, just by the bridge of the nose. It could, of course, as I say, be blood just transferred from the cut suffered by Sabankalov. The referee getting the ringside doctor to have a look at it. And it has widened a bit, actually, since it was first inflicted. Left to the body there from Sabankalov. You won't want to get onto the inside too much, I don't think, because then the heads are always more likely to come together. A cut like this can affect the psychology of the fight, because if at the end of this round the judges do find that Nunes has won that round as of right and with the deduction, then it will be levelled up. And Sabankalov, in that case, really would probably need to be a little bit more aggressive, because he would know that if he lost that fourth round and then the fight were to be stopped, then it would go to the cards and he wouldn't get the decision. And those are the kinds of things that can come into play. And there was the clash. And there was the previous knockdown that never was, if you like.
Segundos afuera.
Well, split scoring from the judges there. 10-9 for Nunes on two cards, 10-9 on the third for Sabankalov. That doesn't, though, take into account the point deduction.
Cuarto round.
So on those two cards where Nunes won the round, that would make it 28-28 on those two cards. So all to box for here in the final 6 minutes. They've done a good job on the cut in between rounds there, I think, the corner. It's not that difficult a one to deal with, really, because they know that the blood's not going to go into the eye, so in a sense, it's not too threatening. Again, the head's almost coming together there as Sabankalov just tries to wade onto the inside, let go with the right uppercut. Missed the target by some distance. Again, always just holding out that right hand, that southpaw jab, just to try and measure the distance between himself and Nunes. The referee having a quick word with Nunez about holding there. Sabankalov looking to wade in with the left to the body again. Some good work on the inside there from Nunez. Left hand there from Sabankalov, just looking a little bit tired actually. Sabankalov being warned about the heads. And he does need to be careful any time he's holding in there, Sabankalov. He was there briefly. Sabankalov letting go with the right hand, and again the referee just indicating that the heads need to be kept apart, that they can't dip too low at the waist. And again, the referee just having a word with Nunez about holding, but no point deduction. Left hand there from Sabankalov. When he moves in with that left hand, Sabankalov, by the time he throws it, he's just a little bit too close. Nunez just moves in himself, dips quite low at the waist himself sometimes. Let go with a left and a right there, then was caught by a right hand of Sabankalov. Good stiff backhand there from Sabankalov, that was better. We haven't seen too much of that so far. He doesn't throw that left hand straight much, did it again there and it got through. Nice right hand as well, good finish to the round here from Sabankalov, and that could be key in this fourth round. Good straight backhand, southpaw backhand. It's such a weapon. It's amazing how often it just snakes straight through that guard. There doesn't seem to be any great mystery about it. It often gets through, but most of the time he's thrown it quite wide. He's thrown a lot of hooks, thrown a lot of kind of overhand left hands as well, rather than just kind of standing his ground and throwing that punch straight and crisp. And he did that towards the end of the round there, and it paid some dividends for him. There is a bit of damage on the inside of that eye, as I suspected there was for Nunez. It's more of an abrasion really than a cut. Nice slip and roll away there from Sabankalov. And all three judges go for the Russian fighter, so 37 to 39. Nunez trails on two cards, 36 to 40 on the other one. As I say, that doesn't take into account the point deduction, and the point definitely was taken by the referee. So Nunez needs this round. Sabankalov finished that fourth round very, very well. It'll be interesting to see if he uses that left hand in his final 3 minutes, more in the fashion he did towards the end of that fourth round, because he managed to sneak it through a couple of times. Again, goes to the body with the left hand. Nunez falls short with the jab. He's trying to fake with that front foot there, Sabankalov, and draw something from Nunez. His back foot just came around there a touch. He was standing square there briefly, Nunez, which is always a dangerous place to be. Good jab there from Nunez. Not too much has occurred in the opening minutes of this fifth and final round. The referee again says to Nunez, no hold. Well, there was a little tap on the back of the head there from... and another point has been taken from Sabankalov here for hitting around the back of the head, and... well, that could be absolutely crucial, because Nunez had kind of turned his back there as he was wandering across the ring. Sabankalov did just tap him on the back of the head. It was unnecessary. It's not something you're supposed to do, but there was no real force behind it. So by my reckoning, that's 2 points now that have been taken away from Sabankalov, and they could be crucial. They could be absolutely crucial when we get the final reckoning. And I think maybe there's a cut on the other eye there of Sabankalov as well. I think that's harsh from the referee. But it was a blow on the back of the head, applying the letter of the law. into the final few seconds. And Nunes knows that he's in with a real chance here. Well, they're just going to have a look at the other cut, and I think it's almost identical. It's just on the corner of the eye. It is. It's a mirror image, really, of the one on the other side of his face that we can see with a slightly better view as he emerged from that corner. So some damage for Sabankalov tonight. Might need some stitches, certainly need them glued. Again, no indication from the referee of how it occurred. Not that I saw anyway, but I would suspect that it was a head clash again. Sabankalov just wading forward, cuffing with the right and left hands into the final 10 seconds as they both just dip low and the heads sail past each other. And Nunes just using his feet now, just getting on his bike towards the end of the round, towards the end of the contest, and this will come down to the scoring. 2 points, though, taken away from Artur Sabankalov of the Russian boxing team during the course of that bout. One for holding, the other one for that pretty ineffectual rabbit punch, really, on the back of the head of Nunes. Going into that final round, he was 39 points to 37 ahead on 2 cards, 40 points to 36 ahead, but realistically, that would have been 38-37 twice, and 39-36, and a point has gone in that final round as well. So if Nunes is adjudged to have won that round, then he will overtake Sabankalov on those 2 cards, and he will win the fight. So an interesting contest, a lot of talking points in there, and some damage to Sabankalov as well, as we've seen those 2 cuts, as I said, in almost exactly the same spot, and just some damage to the point of the forehead there on the right hand too from Sabankalov. So let's find out how this has gone.
De la pelea. La decisión de los jueces ha sido unánime. Juez 1, 47-46. Juez 2, 47-46. Juez 3, 48-45. Ganador por puntos del equipo ruso, Artur Sabankalov.
Well, it's Sabankalov who's got it. 47-46 on 2 of the cards and 48-45 on the other. So despite the points deductions, he has still emerged the winner. So the Russian boxing team go 2-0 up now after these opening 2 bouts. And there's Albert Caribbean of Russia, who looked good when I saw him a few weeks ago. And Ocampo making his international debut tonight. Well, it was an interesting fight, this. Points deductions making life difficult for Sabankalov. But he got the win on those 2 judges' scorecards, on all 3 judges' scorecards in that final round, which meant that the point deduction in the final round didn't hurt him. And this Argentinian crowd know that their team is up against it here. 2 wins out of 2. Both at home so far this season. But with that super heavyweight bout being scored a walkover to Russia due to the ineligibility of the Argentinian fighter, then that would make Russia winners of this match already after just the 2 bouts. It's 2-0 on the official scoreboard, but the information we have is that that super heavyweight bout was won by Russia by that walkover, as I mentioned. Albert Caribbean here, just looking very relaxed as he makes his way to the ring. He looked good against Damian Kivor on his WSB debut in week 3. Embarrassment of riches, really, for Russia at welterweight. Ramzan Buteyev qualified for the Olympics via WSB last season, as mentioned, as did Andrei Zamkovoy via APB, and Zamkovoy is the man down on the list for Russia as going to Rio, which is extremely unfortunate for Ramzan Buteyev. But they are just that strong. As I mentioned earlier on, they're just looking to qualify boxers at 81 kilograms and super heavyweight, which is 91 kilograms plus, and then they'll have the full set of 10 going to Rio. Kivor have got 7 boxers qualified so far. Some of the stronger nations, or nations who were strong in London in 2012, haven't got any fighters qualified yet. Great Britain is one of them. Had a good medal haul, Team GB in London, but nobody through yet. Still plenty of opportunity, so no one will be getting too nervous just yet. 190 places for men, as I mentioned earlier, still available. And here comes Ocampo. Alberto Palmetta boxed at welterweight in the World Championships for Argentina, and in week 3 beat Venezuela's Pan American Games champion Gabriel Maestre by split decision. That was a good fight. Franco Ocampo with his opportunity this evening, though. It'll be interesting to see the weights here on the tail of the tape, because Albert Caribbean just looks
Liga
bigger,
Mundial de Boxeo,
stronger,
tercer
leaner.
combate de la noche. 69 kilos es la división. Se enfrentan a 5 rounds. En el rincón azul, Rusia Boxing Team presenta con 68 kilos 700, 6, 8, 700, Albert Caribbean. Y en el rincón rojo de los Condors de Argentina, con un peso de 68 kilos 700, 6, 8, 700, Franco Campo.
Well, if my Spanish is certainly well there, I think they've weighed in about the same, just under the limit of 69 kilograms, so there's no real clear advantage for Caribbean to take into the ring. But those weigh-ins, of course, were yesterday, and it just depends as to how much weight may have been put on in the meantime. These boxers are used to competing in tournaments where you have to weigh in before every fight. You have to weigh in practically every day, so you can't really go too much over. And they are exactly the same there, 68.7. Caribbean just slightly taller, 19 years old. The camp only looks it too. Caribbean immediately trying to get on the jab and gets through with the jab straight away. Not seen Ocampo before, so it'll be interesting to discover what kind of a fighter he is. Let's go with a wide left hand there. Again, Caribbean just jabbing. It's a good stiff jab he's got on him as well. Just getting Ocampo backpedaling and now trying to rough him up a little bit on the inside. The referee just stepping in and having a word about the use of the elbow there. He's a pressure fighter, Caribbean. He never really gives you a moment to breathe, but that's good work. Let's go with the left hand, gets through and then just sways back, takes the weight back, switching southpaw, and gets through with the left hand to the body. Ocampo with a nice balanced stance. Good right hand there from Ocampo. The crowd enjoyed that one. Caribbean just moving away to his right hand side, was slightly off balance. Ocampo then through the left hand as well. Caribbean falling short with a jab. The Russian looking to chop down with that right hand. He did slow a bit in his fight back in week 3. He was winning comfortably and then took his foot off the gas a bit in the final couple of rounds. Ended up with two scorecards of 48-47, the other 49-46. If I remember correctly, I had it 49-46. But two of the judges gave Kiwor the last two rounds. Maybe Caribbean, I think, just got a little bit complacent. Ocampo with the right hand there. Does look to have a little bit of power here, the Argentinian. Now the referee just having the word about punching around the back of the head. We've seen the point taken in the previous fight. Again, he offers the glove in way of apology. Ocampo not interested. Ocampo letting go with the left hand. Again, it falls short. Does like to throw that left hand off the back foot. Good footwork there from Caribbean. Just managed to turn his man and get out of that corner. Again, Caribbean now has switched southpaw. Back to orthodox. Almost standing square there, really, just trying to bob and weave his way in. And then he signals to the referee that he felt he was caught round the back of the head. Caribbean letting go with the backhand. He's not as effective, I don't think, when he switches to southpaw as he is when he stays orthodox, because that orthodox jab he's got is good. And then was trying to throw the uppercut there as well, and I'm not sure if the referee has taken a point there or not. He just seemed to look over to ringside and make some kind of a signal. It's possible that he may have done, but Caribbean's just playing a dangerous game there that he doesn't really need to play rather.
Por recomendación de AIBA, se solicita al público no utilizar teléfonos con flashes para la filmación del combate. Gracias.
Well, the crowd just being warned there not to use flash photography on their phones during the course of the round. I thought it might have been an announcement as to whether a point had been taken, but we'll have to wait until the end of the fight to discover that. And Ocampo has got that one on all three scorecards. So that is very interesting. If a point has been taken, then that would make that 10-8 come the end of the contest. It wasn't an easy one to score. I felt Caribbean did the better work in the opening stages. I don't think he really needs to switch to southpaw as much as he is. I don't think it does him any favours. And just there, it's more frustration than anything else. You see that in the professional ring a lot. Fighters are locked together. They're not breaking. They're not being broken by the referee. One wants to get through, and he just taps away at the back of his opponent's head. You're not supposed to do it. And in AIBA boxing, referees tend to be a lot stricter about that kind of thing. My guess would be that the referee didn't take a point there. He just had a quick word with Caribbean before the start of the round about tapping to the back of the head. There's no weight behind those punches whatsoever, so there's really no need to throw them. Caribbean just walking forward there, chasing Ocampo across the ring, the feet crossed, which is not something which is supposed to happen if you look at the coaching manual. Ocampo got through the left hand there. And Caribbean just getting a little bit overly concerned, I would say, with what his rival's up to. He's looking at the referee a bit too often for my liking. He needs to settle into his boxing here. He got off to a good start at the start of that first round, but Ocampo has responded well. Better stiff jab there from Caribbean, and a nice right hand as well. Kind of screw punch, not quite an uppercut. Lead left uppercut there from Ocampo. That's a dangerous punch to throw. It's a real Mexican signature shot. Like Juan Manuel Marquez has always loved the lead left uppercut. But if you don't land it, then you can be in big trouble. Left hand got through there from Caribbean. Trying to punch down with that right hand, but Ocampo comes back with a right of his own. Caribbean goes southpaw again. Maybe just a bit concerned there, the Russian, about the heads coming together. He just needs to concentrate on his own work. Just wades in with the left hand, tries to force Ocampo back into the corner. Good left hand there from Ocampo as Caribbean was just coming in. His hands were down. forearm being brought into play there by Caribbean, according to the referee. Caribbean struggling to get through with that right hand. Has just been caught every now and again with punches from Ocampo. They're not solid punches, but they are scoring punches. Ocampo just laying back there. Retreated to the corner, which I don't think was a particularly wise idea, but used his upper body well. But Caribbean is always coming forward. I just wonder whether this pressure will begin to tell as we head into the later stages of the fight. Ocampo there just switched into a southpaw stance right at the end of the round as well, just to confuse Caribbean as once more he came forward. Got a bronze at the Russian National Championships, which is no mean feat when you consider the other fighters they've got in this division, as I mentioned before. Well, no call for break there from the referee, so that was a good left hand there from Caribbean, and the right uppercut there got through. I think that southpaw stance needs a bit of work from Caribbean. When he throws that left hand, it's a push, it's not really a punch. Just pops it off from the shoulder, doesn't really get the hip through it, the core through it. Well, the judges go for Caribbean in that round, so 19 apiece.
Tercer round.
The feeling is that in the third, fourth and fifth rounds, the intensity of Caribbean may come into play more. They forgot the gum shield there, the Argentina Condors. Fairly crucial bit of kit. Left hand there from Caribbean. Ocampo a little bit wild with a left of his own. And Russian again just shoveling in a short left hand. Thrown from the waist. Ocampo just looking over to his corner. Caribbean again in that crouch is coming forward. He likes to explode out of that stance. Again, he's gone to southpaw. Back to orthodox pretty quickly. Looking for the uppercut, but didn't find it, and that was a little bit around the back of the head, and he just needs to be careful. Does turn his back a touch, Ocampo, which contributes to that. Good jab from Caribbean. Caribbean maybe could do with cutting down the ring a little bit better. He does tend to chase Ocampo a touch at times. He's got his back square to the ropes there, Ocampo, which is not the position he needs to be in. And again there, Caribbean goes to the body with a couple of right hands. And that's a good right there from Caribbean as Ocampo was just trying to sway out of the way. He didn't quite manage to lay back far enough and caught that one. This is beginning to become pretty hard work for the 19-year-old. Caribbean just leaping in with the left hand and then just throws the right up the middle. Into the final 30 seconds of the round, just throwing that southpaw backhand to the body there, Caribbean. Just wanders forward behind the left hand as he switched back into the orthodox stance. And I think that's the problem he's got with it, really. When he switches between the two, he doesn't do it all that fluidly. There was a good right hand there, though, from Caribbean. Getting caught mid-switch can be disastrous because you're just standing square. You can easily get put over if you get caught in that kind of position. But at the end of the third round,
Zona para adentro solo. ¿Está bien? ¿Sentiste alguna manito? Bien tapado, bien cerrado.
Throws that left hand well, Ocampo, but there was that right that just caught him. Right hand's being landed in very swift succession there from either fighter. And that's gone to Caribbean as well, so 29-28 on all three scorecards currently.
Afuera. Cuarto round.
A lot more boxing coming up this weekend. Quality match tomorrow between the Ukraine Ottomans and Cuba Domadores. Cuba Domadores have won 10 out of 10 bouts so far. China Dragons up against the Turkey Conquerors. And Venezuela against the Rapico Hussars. So this group playing catch-up this weekend. Argentina in action twice, Venezuela in action twice. Heads almost coming together there, and the gum shield is out, I think. It belongs to Ocampo, so time taken out here. That's just rinsed off and put back in. That's a good shot from Caribbean, just taking the weight onto his right foot, finding the angle for the right hand. Again, his feet just cross there slightly, Caribbean. Every now and again when he comes forwards, he is a little over-eager. Just loses his balance. Good right hand from Caribbean, and a combination of punches as well. Just reins in there. I think he's feeling the pace in there, Ocampo. Some of his punches are looking just a little bit laboured. Again, with his back to the ropes, was caught by a jolting shot there as well. When you see a fighter retreat to the ropes like he is now, it's usually a sign that he's tired. Caribbean just steps off him. Again, there's a southpaw here, Caribbean. And you just see the way he pours out with that southpaw jab. There's nothing like the same snap behind his punches when he's in that stance as there is when he's fighting as an orthodox fighter. Again, just an example there of how he tends to leap in at times. Jumps in, really. There's no real balance there. Bit of a nick on the bridge of the nose there for Caribbean as well. Just chopping down with that right hand and then clubbing to the side of the head with that same right. And Caribbean complaining that he was caught around the back of the head there. He spent a little bit too much time complaining to the referee on occasions for my liking. AIBA officials generally don't take particularly kindly to it. Heads almost coming together there as Ocampo just launched a big right hand and ended up on Caribbean's shoulder. That's a lovely uppercut to end the round there from Caribbean. That was a quality shot, really just snapped the head back of Ocampo. And it's turning into a little bit of a bruising encounter, this, for Ocampo, although the blood there is coming from the nose of Caribbean, but he's really beginning to enjoy himself in there, I think. He is just relentless the way he comes forward. I just think the pressure he applies could be a little bit more intelligent, maybe, could just be a little bit more fluid, a bit slicker. 10-9s on all three scorecards again, so after losing the first round, he's won the next three, so 2-point margins on those three cards heading into the fifth and final round. And it would be pretty extraordinary if Ocampo can find something to turn this round. He's going to have to stop Albert Caribbean, and there's just no sign that that really is a possibility. Touch of gloves at the start of the 5th and final round. And it looks very likely that this will be 2 wins out of 2 for Albert Caribbean. Just keeping those hands moving, Caribbean. Just comes over the top of his front foot, that's how coaches describe it. There's a bit of blood coming from the nose over Ocampo. Referring to Caribbean there as he's gone into the southpaw stance again. His weight just comes over the top of that front foot, which means you just fall in and coming behind it off balance, really. This will be a really good learning fight, though, for Franco Ocampo. This is his first international contest, and he doesn't look out of place at this level. He does have some skills, but he's found it hard at times. I think Caribbean just treading on the foot of Ocampo there unintentionally as he was boxing as a southpaw. That's an occupational hazard that the front feet get tangled up. Caribbean not taking any real risks in this 5th and final round, just showing off with some flashy footwork at times, just leaning in, hanging out that chin, trying to get Ocampo to commit. Best punch of the fight was the uppercut he landed right at the end of that 4th round. Gum shield is out again. That's the 2nd time for Ocampo. Got to put it in at the start of the round on one occasion as well. And he's just taking the opportunity to get a few breaths in. I think he'll be pretty pleased when he hears the final bell. And the referee's taken a point, actually, signalling that it's the 3rd time. As I said, 2 times it's come out, and the other time they didn't remember to put it in. So that's not something he particularly needed. It will then mean, I would say, that he will lose this fight 50 points to 49 points to 45, rather. Caribbean just hanging that chin out, just daring Ocampo to come forward and try and hit it. He's not done an awful lot in this round, Caribbean, to be perfectly honest. Blood still coming from the nose of Caribbean as well. Got caught with the right hand there as we head into the final 10 seconds. But this will be another win for the Russian boxing team. As the bell goes. And it will be 3-0 on the night after the opening 3 bouts. Caribbean just bowing to the audience there, who I think are giving him a little bit of good-natured abuse, if there is such a thing. That was a better looking backhand, and that was where the front foot of Ocampo just got trodden on slightly. And there comes the gum shield. Nice little cheeky combination there from Caribbean, who then got caught with the right hand.
Fallo de la pelea. La decisión de los jueces ha sido unánime. Juez 1 dictaminó 48 a 45. Juez 2, 47 a 46. Juez 3, 47-46. Ganador por puntos del equipo ruso, Albert Caribia.
Well, that's interesting. 47-46 on two of the cards there and 48-45 on the other. I'm not quite sure how they arrived at those scores, because Caribbean was 39 points to 37 up going into the fifth and final round. But that's the fight remaining here at light heavyweight. Sergio Levenstein in against Pavel Siliagin. Siliagin, a good fighter. Nice left hand there from Ocampo, as I said. Put up a good display. Tash Karakov, who won earlier on, supporting his teammate. And Caribbean got the win. As I said, light heavyweight's one of the only two weights Russia don't currently have a fighter qualified for Rio at, and Siliagin will be their man when they come to the European qualifier in Turkey between the 7th and 18th of April. That's in Samsun. I'm sure Siliagin will be the fighter who goes in for them. He got a bronze medal actually in the World Championships, but bronze wasn't good enough to qualify for the Olympics as of right. Only the top two place fighters did, and they were Julio La Cruz of Cuba, who'd already qualified via WSB anyway, and Joe Ward of Ireland. So much more difficult to qualify for the Olympics this time around. There's so many different routes, WSB, APB and the World Championships. In previous Olympic years or Olympic qualification processes, there were many more places available via the World Championships, but this time around in some weight divisions such as super heavyweight, you had to win the gold medal to qualify for the Olympics. So very tough, but as I said, a few opportunities left for fighters such as Pavel Siliagin. (5-0) last season in WSB. And won in week 3 against Arkadiusz Shvedovic. 49-46 on all three cards after a slow start. He can be a bit of a slow starter, actually. He's have an interesting kind of style too. He does tend to walk forward, throwing punches at times. His feet follow his fists quite often. And here is Sergio Levenstein. Boxed at middleweight last season, actually, so he stepped up in weight. 75 kilograms is middleweight, 81 light heavyweight, so that's almost a stone, actually. The difference between the two, 6 kilos, translates at about 13.2 pounds, thereabouts. So Levenstein obviously felt that he was struggling at the weight, so needed to step up. Lost to Albert Ramirez of Venezuela in week 3, but Ramirez, a good fighter, 5-1 last season, won the American Championships, beating Julio La Cruz. It was disputed, the decision, I think it's fair to say, but lost the Pan American final to the same fighter in La Cruz, who is absolutely mercurial, a 3-time world champion. Will be the red-hot favourite in this division in the Olympics in Rio. Was in 2012, actually, but was beaten by Yamaguchi Falcao in the quarter-final.
Y en el rincón cinturón rojo por los Cóndores de Argentina, con un peso de 80 kilos 700. 8-0.
Russia with the win anyway, 3-0 up on the night. Well, 3 of the 4 bouts we've seen so far. So they will have 9 points from their 3 matches.
De Trinidad y Tobago. Combate a 5 rounds.
Always pretty inscrutable, Siliagin. He's got that height advantage as well.
Segundos afuera. Primer round.
Both fighters quickly to the centre of the ring. Levenstein lets go with the backhand. Nice stiff jab there from Siliagin. In terrific shape, Siliagin. Levenstein looks in good nick as well, but Siliagin, I don't think struggles to make 81 kilograms. But he always looks, well, ripped to a shred, really, most of the time. Maybe some deep heat has been applied to those shoulders. Reddening of the shoulder blades there on the back of Siliagin. You can see why Levenstein has stepped up from middleweight, because you look at the width of that back and the shoulders. Surprising, really, that he managed to stay at 75 for as long as he did. Siliagin has started a bit quicker tonight than I've seen him do in the past. And that mainly, I think, due to the fact that Levenstein has come forward pretty much from the opening bell himself. Heavy looking right hand there from Siliagin, just crashed through the guard. Levenstein lets go with a backhand, but he was well wide of the target. Siliagin trying to get on that jab. He's got that 6 centimetre height advantage. With the height advantage needs to come the reach advantage. Doesn't always follow. Good left hand there from Levenstein, got through. Good fight this. Warming up nicely already. Levenstein missing with a left hand. Overbalanced a bit there, Levenstein, as he came in with the backhand. He was turned square a bit, was just wandering in behind it. Siliagin, again, trying to get back on that jab, just shoots it up from the waist. Gets good power on it, good snap. Again, a good jab. He's been the slightly more accurate of the two in this round so far, which should count in his favour. Stings in with that backhand as well. Throws good straight shots most of the time, Siliagin. Clubs in a couple of hooks there. I think Russia will be very confident of getting him through at light heavyweight when it comes to Turkey in April. Levenstein just riding that right hand to an extent. Switching southpaw, Siliagin. Caught by left hand, but he threw a nice punch off the back foot himself as Levenstein was coming in. Bell goes at the end of a good first round. Siliagin had the better of it for my money. Russian team have been so strong for such a long time, and I mentioned that other weight where they don't have a competitor at Rio just yet, super heavyweight, and Doronichev, who would have been in action tonight in a competitive bout, not given the opportunity, but he will have boxed twice in WSB this season. It will still count in that regard, so that will be enough to qualify him for the WSB APB Olympic qualifier that comes later on. That's in Bulgaria in May. 10-9s for Siliagin across the board. But as I was saying earlier on, it'll be interesting to see who they put in at super heavyweight in that European qualifier. I saw Maxim Babinin against Joe Joyce at the Brewery in London last season. Babinin, one of those fighters who doesn't look in the greatest nick. There's definitely some spare weight that could be shed there. You think of fighters like Andy Ruiz, currently campaigning at heavyweight in the professional ranks, who could certainly slim down a bit. But he's got good technique, he can box, and you can't really question his fitness to fight because he gets through the rounds pretty comfortably. Levenstein looking to try and jab to the body. Siliagin just making good use of the ropes there, just circling away to his left-hand side. Again, at the start of this round, just boxing as a southpaw. Looks fairly effective out of that southpaw stance as well, back into orthodox. Levenstein being told to keep the head up. Siliagin being told to not push down on the shoulders, the back of the head of his opponent. Levenstein making contact with the inside of the glove. That's a lovely jab there, lovely southpaw jab from Siliagin. Looking to get the backhand through as well. Good upper body movement from the Russian too. And Levenstein at the minute just can't do anything with him because when he does get in close like that, he's too close. And when it's at range, Siliagin has the advantage because he is the taller man and he does use that reach. Levenstein just trying to pull him back onto the ropes there. It's the kind of thing he needs to do, but needs to move that head more because it's fairly stationary at the minute. Needs to move that upper body more. That's the only way he's going to get inside those long limbs of Siliagin, who wore a left hand from Levenstein there, though. Siliagin again just sticks in that right hand off the back of a decent looking jab, and that's another good solid round for the Russian light heavy.
Bien tapado. Tuviste cosas buenas. ¿Sabes lo que tenés cuando llega la soga? Como dice el mono, hacerte chiquito, saca el culo atrás y así no te puedo agarrar. Si te pones así, te agarra él. Saca el culo atrás y mete los ganchos abajo y volví arriba. ¿Estamos? ¿Viste cómo lo agarras?
Segundos afuera.
Well, all three judges have gone for Levenstein in that round, which is interesting, so that ties it up at 1 round apiece, 19 points each. I felt Siliagin did the better work myself, just as he did in the first round, but Levenstein was coming forward, did land some shots, and all three judges, the three selected at random out of the 5 scoring the bout ringside, have gone with the Argentina Condor. Siliagin working to the body. Nice right hand there from Levenstein, and Siliagin just looking to hold on. Crowd trying to get behind their man here as well. Good combination there though from Siliargin. Levenstein had the gloves up, but those still will have had an effect. Like all Russian fighters, punches through the guard, Siliargin. You see that from all of them. That's just a schooling they've had all the way down the years. You go back to the former Soviet Union, that's how they fight, that's how they're taught. Throw punches with spite, with meaning, even when it was a computer scoring system. Left hand from Levenstein as Siliargin was just walking forward and trying to wrap him up. Good use of the feet there from Siliargin, just a little shuffle backwards, causing Levenstein to fall short. Levenstein just briefly switching stances there, got a little bit careless with that big overhand right. Siliargin tried to counter but couldn't do so effectively. The referee just having a word with both of them about dipping their heads. Good jab there from Siliargin again. He needs to get back on that jab, I think, because when he uses it, when he does throw it, it's a real weapon. And he got caught by the right hand of Levenstein again there. He throws him from distance. And his footwork's just got a little bit ragged, Siliargin, at times. He's switching just a bit too much and confusing himself almost. Caught by right hand there, and that's another interesting round. And Levenstein will be in with a good shout on the cards there, I'd say. If he got given the second, then I think he's got every chance of getting that third. Siliargin, I think, just needs to simplify things a bit. Too keen to switch. And he's caught off balance quite a lot for that reason. Sprang into that uppercut. That's a good backhand. Right hand just being sent through. Well, it's split. Two judges have gone for Siliargin, one have gone for Levenstein. So Levenstein by a point with Judge A, Siliargin by a point with judges B and C.
Cuarto round.
Siliargin starts the round southpaw, using his feet. Levenstein looking to come forward, as he has done right from the very start. That's the way he fights. Let's go with that big right hand again. Fell short. Siliargin looking to try and counter as he moved to his left. That's a nice combination from Siliargin. You can see the sweat just spray off the head of Levenstein there. Again, Levenstein just fell a little bit short there. Lost his balance a touch, and Siliargin countered them. Good left hand there from Siliargin. Good footwork from the Russian. Uppercut with the right hand. And then just looks to hold on as he loses his balance slightly, just holding on to Levenstein to prevent himself from going to ground. It wouldn't have been a knockdown. But I like the look of Levenstein. He comes forward, he makes the fight. He's an aggressive fighter. And that will do him a lot of favours. He was caught by a nice right hand there, though, as he tried to make his way in. Siliargin again just throwing it off the back foot, as he does really, really well. Sets his feet, Just sways that upper body back and uses those long arms. Good volley of punches there again from Siliagin. He's got a good guard, Lebenstein. He keeps it pretty tight, but every now and again, Siliagin does get through, as he did there. It's a nice combination from Siliagin. The left and the right getting through, and he's finding the target more frequently in this round, and Lebenstein is maybe just beginning to slow down a touch. But it's more orthodox stuff, that, from Siliagin, and I don't think it's a coincidence that it's paying dividends. He's just giving himself more of a chance, I think, by cutting down the extravagant movement and giving himself a base to punch from, which he didn't really in the third round. Got back to basics a bit more, I think, in that fourth.
Lo apretás ahí y te vas 3 metros para allá. Cortito, ahí un paso al costado, un paso al costado, un paso adelante, un paso al costado, un paso al costado. ¿Estamos? ¿Está bien? ¿De aire?
Un limpo con la mano. Un limpo con la mano.
¿A dónde? Abajo, arriba. Porque te quedas con la cabeza así. Y te
That's a good combination. That's a good example of the range he can find. He finds that right distance, and there's very little that Lebenstein can do about it because he's just got that superior reach. And all three judges go for Siliagin. One goes 10-8, actually. Judge C decided that was clear enough to score it a 10-8. So Siliagin with a clear advantage with Judge B and C, level with Judge A. And Lebenstein needs to do something pretty serious in this fifth and final round, and just being warned about hitting around the back of the head and also dipping the head slightly low. Good right hand there from Siliagin. Lebenstein trying to pin him back in the corner. It just gets a little bit too close, and Siliagin able just to tie him up. The Russian will know that the onslaught is coming in this fifth and final round, just pushes off with the forearms. Fell short with the jab there, Lebenstein, and then the left and right hand came back from Siliagin, but the gloves were up from the Argentinian, so no real damage done. Good combination again there from Siliagin, but Lebenstein still seems to have plenty of gas in the tank, still coming forward. As I said, both of these two in really good condition. Been working very hard in the gym, you can tell that. Final warning there maybe from the referee about just coming forward with the head a bit low, but I don't think there's anything deliberate about it from Lebenstein. That's good evasive work again there from Siliagin. Double jab from the Russian, jabs to the head and then to the body. Nice right hand from Siliagin, just crashed into the side of Lebenstein's head. But a good bout this. Again, a really good WSB bout. Siliagin boxing nicely off the back foot there, just chopping down with left and right hands. The Russian has been the better of these two. But again, Lebenstein has put a lot into this. Siliagi looking to finish strongly here, but Levenstein has never let him have it all his own way. As the bell goes at the end, Levenstein celebrates, but it will be another win for the Russian boxing team. Siliagin was in control going into that final round. Even if it does go the way of Levenstein, it would be a split decision win for Siliagin. And that jab is a weapon. Thrown up from the waist, gets really good power on it. Stops Levenstein in his tracks. I'll have to wait and see if there's anything to come at super heavyweight after this, because there could be an exhibition bout. Well, let's get the decision.
Fallo de la pelea. La decisión de los jueces ha sido unánime. Juez 1, 48 a 47. Juez 2, 49 a 46. Juez 3, 49 a 45. Ganador por el equipo ruso, Pavel Siliagin.
Siliagin gets it 48-47, 49-46 and 49-45. The 45 courtesy of that 10-8 round given by Judge C. 49-46 would have been the score I would have gone with myself. So again, it's a fairly comfortable fight for the judges to score, and the final score will be 5-0 because the super heavyweight bout a walkover win for the Russian boxing team. So it's a whitewash for the Russians at the top of Group C, and a very good performance by them. So it's 3 wins out of 3 for the Russian boxing team. A first defeat of the season in Buenos Aires for Argentina.